one of the races that we hear Patar on the radio, he's about, you know? None of us really paid attention to it. Pretty sure someone was at the block. I think it might have been Saint. Because, yeah, it was the final race we did. I'm pretty sure Saint was at the block and saw Patar. But apparently Patar kind of just ran out and ran off. And it went off to do his own thing. No one really questioned it. Me, Steve were racing. Like, it very much was like, we acknowledged he's about. And, you know, that's it.
Why did no one go fucking with him? Because we literally said a couple days ago, since that phone call, he's not to be left alone.
Be with him. Yeah, 100%. But I do feel like as much as it is easy to blame us in that situation, it's very much on him just as much to make sure he's with someone. If he isn't even reaching out to be like, come, like, can I come chill with you? I don't want to be on my own. Like, there's no point, you know? We'll get to that though. That's pretty irrelevant for what happens next. This bit we found out at the very end. Actually, no, I'll save that bit. So we're boosting, we're just chilling, like nothing's going on, and he calls Vince. They kind of go back and forth for a little bit on like where their standpoint is with things and like how everything should be done and dealt with. And then he drops the bombshell. He's got Patar kidnapped. We obviously, like, Vince kind of pushed back on it for a little bit. And then eventually T put a photo on the timeline of him with Patar in the torture chamber in Grapeseed. And the caption was "Weak Gang," I believe, to the best of my memory. When that happened, obviously we went straight there, as expected. He's not there. Can't find him anywhere. No clue. We call him. It goes back and forth. Like he's being very vague. It's a weird situation because like there's not much we can do in that situation where we know he's kidnapped, but we have no leads really, and the lead we had was it was blatantly a bait. He's playing games at this point with us. So
yeah, I mean, we told him, and I said to him about the games. He made it clear it was going to be games.
Yeah, and he did that. Next photo we saw on the timeline was him at the quarry on top of one of the like, do you know the massive like dirt trucks? You know them? It was him on top of the quarry, but face down in the dirt.
Who, Patar?
Patar. But at this point, he'd been harmed. Like, we didn't know the extent of things, but he was face down. He wasn't looking good, bro. It was a rough photo. Obviously, again, we head straight there. He's calling us, like, each one of us. He's messing us about. He's telling us to go to the block. And then eventually I call him and, like, kind of just, like, argue with him for a little bit and be like, bro, just where's Patar, man? Like, I know you don't want to. Yeah, I called T.
What was the energy?
Very much like, Sparky asked me to play games, I'm playing games. You know, and at this point, like, we ain't on no games. We just want Patar. We know he's been kidnapped. We know he's been harmed. Like, T's like, you need to go find him or he's gonna die. Like, this is bad for him. We got to start arguing about we kind of went on to morals of things, and he was like, I was basically like, and we don't have a choice, bro. Like, we can give you all the gold back, but realistically, we don't have the 15 mil you're asking for. We don't have a choice. We're pinned. And kind of explain that to him. He was like, bro, you have houses on the block, you have cars, sell them. Like, he was expecting us to throw away everything, and I kind of was like, yeah, that's not how it is. And he brought up the fact that he's been watching us all day and he could have caught multiple of us. He was saying he could have caught me and Steve, and he chose not to, and he wanted to wait for he kind of waited for Patar, and I was like, you couldn't have caught me and Steve. And he was like, you didn't pay attention to the people you were racing with. And he was basically claiming he was there with me racing without me knowing. And I was like, at the end of the day, bro, like, you were on your own, you're lacking. He was like, the racers were on my side. So I don't know how much I believe that. I feel like that's very much a mind game. But yeah, that's something to keep on board. And I was like, bro, we went back and forth, and we eventually got onto the topic of the meth lab. Don't really remember how that conversation went.
No fucking way.
He basically said it's my meth lab.
Oh
Tommy's
yeah.
meth lab, and we started arguing about it, and that wasn't really a productive conversation. But
what did you argue?
Saying, like, I was like, bro, you don't know nothing about that meth lab. Like, it's capped to say that's your meth lab. You don't even know where it is. He didn't. He never told me. Like, but who said he hasn't spoken to Miguel? Because at the moment, the keys are under Miguel's possession.
So that shows the side they're on then.
If it's truthful, like, we don't know the truth in that. Again, like, that could be another mind game, but it's another entity we need to watch out for, you know? He didn't tell us where Patar is. He eventually called Vince and gave him a clue. It was a reference to like something that happened back in day. Vince didn't understand the reference, but it was like tippity top of the tippity top of tippity. It was something like that on them lines. This is gonna cut to like where we worked out where Patar actually was. It
to
was
be honest,
the top of the island. Like,
I kind of expected this, so I'm not really surprised. Like,
wait, what do you mean?
I kind of expected it. You know what I mean?
Like, if you look,
it's
at your
very
GPS,
obvious to Denzel that Hydra would
island,
always back T. Denzel doesn't have a relationship with Hydra like that.
Was saying,
you know?
Like, oh yeah, we used to say that back in day, so we kind of all assumed like, oh yeah, that's a reference to a spot where that was said. So we didn't a lot of us didn't deep it too much. I went with Saint to the top of Mount Chiliad. He wasn't there. And we never worked out that clue, but in hindsight, we understand it. So very much, again, on a mind game thing, like, bro's giving us riddles for our dying friend or dying gang member.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
No, I am, because I'm going to lose my job.
He gives another reference or clue to us is to find him was, what was it? Where he used to make money. What was it? I don't remember the second bit, but there was two parts to it. Oh no, it was where he wants us to be and where he used to make money. So we instantly said fishing because he wants us with the fishes, you know, like he wants us dead. So the boys, I went to the river we're on right now.
He wanted us at the top,
and we found nothing. Me and Saint were together. So the whole like idea was we should all be in twos. It was me and Saint, Winston and Eli, and then Vince and Steve.
Let me guess. He wanted you guys at the top.
What do you mean?
That's actually what he meant when if you
yeah. But him saying that clue when us thinking fishing, was actually sent us in the right direction. The boys went to the civilian docks to fish in like I don't even know why they went there. Now I deep it. The civilian docks, you know where I'm on about, and they managed to find T. God knows how that.
I wonder if he was. So where would he have been? Like Mazebank Tower or like Chiliad or
into like a boat chase?
Like the top.
Me and Saint were in a helicopter.
Maybe the top of the map, so it could have been like Polito.
We locate. I was over T, and he drives into. Do you know that tunnel? Tunnel where like you go through for the boat getaways and stuff.
Bro, if he does more riddles, that'd be so sick.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
The water one.
Oh, the one that like goes out to like by Saint's docks.
No, It goes out to Burger Shot.
Yeah, and goes there. Someone that goes to the seaside beach through to Burger Shot tunnel. Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
So he goes in there. Me, Insane, and Steve cut off that tunnel and go to the end because I'm in a helicopter and I managed to get to the end before him. Obviously, Vince and Winston followed in through with boats, so they're on it. And I wasn't there for this bit, but I've been told the story multiple times. And so what I understand of the situation is they all went in. Vince and Winston were against T, and Winston holds up Vince at gunpoint with T.
What?
Winston robs the belongings of Vince, like the gun, phone, radio, any communication,
what
like
the fuck,
everything.
Bro?
And we don't really know what's going on.
Did he say Winston robbed Vince?
Away when that all goes off.
Or T?
Like, so we were at the end. T went past us. We shot at him, open fire. We didn't shoot him. Like we didn't manage to like actually land any shots.
Is Winston all right, bro? What a rat.
But at this point, after a few minutes, Vince calls me in a panic. Says he calls me and says Winston's on T's side. He's just held me up and took my gun and let T go. So we're all very confused. I communicate that to the boys. Steve's with Winston at this point, like unknowingly. So Steve,
I don't get it.
You'll get to it. You'll get to it. We didn't at the time either. We get there. It's a stupid situation that should have never happened. Steve instantly shoots Winston because he's just heard the news. We were all on the same page.
Well, so Steve just fucking blams Winston bro.
At that moment.
I mean, at least that shows where Steve lies.
Yeah. We get fined out.
Oh no, this is where Winston says it was a fucking trick or something all along, bro.
How that happened.
This is where Winston says it was a fucking joke and Steve's just domed him, bro.
I really don't understand. We go to what happened next. So that all happens.
He's not going to tell me King Kong's dead, is he?
T gets away.
So you found Patar?
Yeah, so Vince went and got Patar. We get there. You throw me off.
I don't think Winston would betray the Mandem, bro.
He's in a really bad state.
I don't see that.
Been cut
it
off.
Must have been.
And what the ambulance people said, he had blunt force trauma to the head. So his arms.
He cut off his arm.
His arm has been cut off.
Yeah, he's lost an arm.
That's our new war guy, chat. No less.
That happened, so we go get him, start taking him to the hospital, and when we go in the hospital, T's standing there with Winston. Obviously we're in a hospital at this point, so we basically
you got to hand it them to the RP. I mean,
shout at T to leave and don't force me to do this in a hospital.
He's only got one hand.
Like at the end of the day, I know we can deal with that later. We get Patar into operation room. That we had his arm.
Where the fuck was his arm?
It was with him. I assume. I didn't pick him up, but Vince obviously grabbed it.
So he chopped off his arm.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like now, like
we get him to the hospital. The arm's dead.
Now it's like changed everything, bro.
His body.
Now it's changed
everything. He's in
everything.
a very bad state at this